So where are you going to get overcharged or ripped off in Spain? The first one's going to be at the airport. When you get a taxi, they try and run a Sunday rate, which is a premium rate. Be warned and ask them how much it's going to cost before you even get in the taxi. What I find myself is I'll rather go with a private hire or take my own car, etc. But if you do private hire, you're looking at 30 to 50 euros, where the taxes are 50 euros. I haven't had it under 50. So be aware that the taxis can overcharge, or they stick you on the wrong rate, let's put it that way. The next one would be getting paperwork processed. There's a lot of unscrupulous people that do it for a living. I've got no problem with people charging a reasonable rate, but charging 110 euros for something that only costs about nothing to process, an hour of your time, 110 euros per hour is a bit excessive. Same with doing the NIE, they want like over 100 euros for that, but they'll go and process 5 at a time. You got to remember, if you're going as a family, that's 4 people, so if they charge you 100 euros each, that's 400 euros they've charged you for something that is basically submitting some forms and getting the cards back. 400 euros for an hour's work, if that. So there's a lot of stuff where people will overcharge, and I recommend trying to learn to do it yourself. The next one is money. I don't transfer money in the UK to Spain via banks, because banks overcharge. I generally try to bring it in cash and do it as soon as I get here, then put it in my Spanish bank. Why do I do that? Because the exchange rates normally are much better than I get in the UK, but also I don't lose out on the bank-to-bank transfer, where they add a little fee for themselves along the way. There is also other companies out there that will actually do the transfers for you, which are quite good as well. So I would just compare them and see which one's the best deal for you at the time. Next one is buying property. Be aware that property in Spain is a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So when somebody says there's 6 other people looking at it this week, or somebody's putting an offer in this morning that was around yesterday, just don't listen to it. You make your own mind up. There is more properties here than there is people buying them, so they often bump the prices up. You'll find there's extra money being added to the properties in the first place, and if they can get that premium rate, then the estate agent's doing pretty well out of it. But also you could actually be saving money by going, well, I'll put an offer in at that, take it or leave it, because at the end of the day, the house next door's for sale, the one up the street's for sale. There's no rush. That's why it's important. If you're doing rentals, just make sure that a lot of the stuff is included in your rent. For the smaller rentals, you'll find that you can often get for about 300 euros the electric and water already included, so you've got no real bills outside of that rental payment. But also check what maintenance is covered, because you don't want to be responsible for a building that's fallen apart that has been tied into your responsibility in the contract somehow. So do spend a little bit more time checking the documentation. Mechanics are notoriously ripping people off here, and they're charging about double. The guys up the road from here are utter crooks. Not only did they double charge myself, but I mean, I thought, okay, I needed it fixed, so I'll leave it at that. But I had a battery issue the other day, and I got a couple of neighbours involved, a couple from Switzerland, a couple of guys from Spain, and there's a guy from Uruguay, and one from Valencia. And they all said, don't trust it, they're very bad. They're always adding things to your bill, because the garage is famous for it. That is pretty normal in Spain. So get on the forums and shop around to find where you can get good mechanics. You'll also find if people can overcharge you for things, they will do. They will go, oh yeah, because like say for example, your door lock's broke and the builder's next door, because he knows that you're stuck and somebody's just said, oh, the builder's next door, he ain't going to discount, he'll probably bump the price up. Be aware, this stuff goes on all the time in Spain. It's like a rogue's paradise in many ways. Doesn't put me off living in Spain, it just means you better prepare yourself for the fact that we often trust people we shouldn't. And when you're in a new country, we often trust expats when we certainly shouldn't, because some of the worst culprits for exploiting other expats is British expats. It's the same in Spain, the same in the Philippines, same in many other countries, because people live here off the back of others, and so you need to be aware of that. Doesn't mean they're all doing it. It just means that just take everything with a pinch of salt and get better informed. Don't just go, oh, all right, I'll do it now. If somebody's trying to push you into something, just go, hang on a minute, let me have a think about it. Get on the forums, get on Google search, etc., and get more information to make sure you're paying the right price for something and not being ripped off. That's the main areas you're going to get problems with. Beyond that, the land grabs and all that sort of stuff, it's political. Some of it's related to corruption within local authorities compared to the whole of Spain, the national. For example, building a spa here in Torrevieja was actually illegal because it's in a nature reserve, and the local mayor approved it and got 3 years prison sentence relating to corruption in the area. But the whole point is he's tried to build it on land that basically is illegal to build on. It's not local government, it is central government. It's Spanish government, not Torrevieja government. So those sort of things involve getting the land back. You know, they turn around and say, no, you can knock all that down because that's got to go back. That is a nature reserve. And this is where some of the problems are, because of the differences between who controls what. So those are the main elements that I've had problems with or seen problems with. Make sure wherever the property is, it's in the right area. I know there's another place that's got problems with its buildings because they're in a marina, but actually they're not allowed to be there, and the tenants were unaware that there was only a 25 or 50 year lease on the properties by law to be in the marina, because after that they've got to be removed, and the tenants were completely unaware of it. So there's disputes on this, all sorts of little things that go on you need to be aware of. Personally, I recommend just moving here for 6 months, learning the lie of the land, and then going, okay, I'm going to buy. That 6 months may persuade you or dissuade you from making a good or bad decision, because if you're here and you suddenly think tourist season is too noisy, you can move somewhere else. In the same way, if you get here and you think this is fantastic, I've loved the last 6 months, you know you're in the right place. Thanks for watching.